I love Halo as a franchise, but it somehow, like, disappoints me so much. Okay? Like, when I was growing up, my buddies and I would always play, like, split screen matches or firefight. Um, and so Halo, like, has been ingrained, but I never really played through the games until quite a bit later. Um, and I started with Halo Reach and then moved on to the original trilogy and ODST and all that. Um, and it just like I don't know. It's surprising to have games as solid as these and a franchise with so much potential um, turned into what it is. You know, I feel like post Reach, it's just, and that's not a unique opinion. I feel like it's just disappointing. The original trilogy with Master Chief, Cortana, amazing, great games, so engaging, so much fun. But I feel like what Bungie proved after the original trilogy with Reach and yeah, I'll take it. I feel like what Bungie proved with Reach and ODST is the potential for other kinds of games in this franchise. Like it doesn't just have to be focused on the Master Chief or even a Spartan fighting the Covenant. Because the beauty of Reach was that you weren't the Master Chief, you were just some Spartan, your own playable Spartan, in fact. And it was just a good story on its own. And then ODST proved that, hey, you could tell this from even more perspectives than a Spartan. You could tell it from an ODST, a Marine, you could tell it from whatever you want. And so that like stretched the Halo creative muscles and gave you unique experiences. But then under 343, it swapped right back. And it's just shocking. Immediately they go back to the Master Chief, and somehow it's been, what, if Halo Reach came out in 2011, I think, it's been like 13 years, something like that. And we've gotten 3 mainline Halo games, a garbage TV show, and some other stuff. It's just crazy, It's just crazy. Like, how does this happen in a franchise with so much potential? My friends and I talk about it all the time. We're like, they're actually allergic to our money. We would give them so much money if they just pumped out these, like, unique experiences. Yet they have 343 making a game every, like, 5 years or something. And they're so afraid of risk that I am positive this is how a pitch meeting goes between 343 and Microsoft. Hey, so we had this idea, and then Microsoft interrupts them right away. Just, does it involve the Master Chief? Does it involve the green guy and the blue girl? And if they say no, that gets turned down. There's no chance of a game like with Microsoft in charge. There's no chance at risk. Nothing. They're like, I don't think they trust 343 to do anything, man, other than just pump out games with the green guy. Shocking. It's just shocking, considering the potential of Halo. Because, yeah, like I said, Reach and ODST, my 2 favorites, and so it's just insane to me that they don't explore these possibilities anymore, It's kind of embarrassing, honestly, because Halo is what made the original Xbox. That was just some random, weirdly shaped console with a strange theme, why X, coming onto the market with the, like, PS2, and the only reason it made a name for itself is because of Halo, right? And yet, it seems like Halo is just overlooked. Here's the thing. So, let's talk about 343's games. I think that Halo Infinite is a great game, but I also think it didn't really have to have the Master Chief. I think that story could have been told with really any Spartan. He's fighting on a ship, and some modifications to the weapon and all that, but he's fighting on a ship, gets beat up by Atriox, and then just has to, like, fight the Banished on a ring. That could have been any Spartan. I feel like after Halo Reach, and, like, the original trilogy concluded, they could have given us a new protagonist, a new Spartan. Give us something. Like, the Master Chief is an icon. I get that. But if you're afraid to change anything, you're never going to get a new icon. It's always going to be the same icon. And then eventually you're going to degrade that icon's, there we go. You're going to degrade that icon's reputation so much that it means nothing. And I feel like that's, I don't know, the Master Chief has a lot of fight left in him. But I feel like they could get to that point if they just keep pumping out games, and if they aren't to the same quality as Infinite, because I do think that Infinite was great gameplay wise. I thought its story wasn't trash like four and five. Four and five just didn't feel right. Um, so I feel like if they managed to keep pumping out those, but also it's like, why? Just try something else. You could do so much. I've heard people talk about a game where you play as a Marine, a horror game with the Flood. That's perfect, you know. They've already done that in some levels, so just do it again. Ah, there we go. It just leaves me in confusion. And this can be said for a lot of things, but right now I'm focused on Halo in particular because it's been such turmoil with 343 in charge. But really, you could say this about a lot of stuff. So many game franchises with so much potential and ability to sell copies, to just make bank. These companies won't go for it because it's too much risk, you know? Oh, I can't do that. I can't allow that. You can't take a risk. This is a horrible idea. You know, they just go for the brand friendly, guaranteed to sell to consumers sort of deal. And for Halo, that's yep, send the Master Chief in with Cortana. We know that that formula works. Have him on a Halo ring. Have him make some grand discovery. And it's like, okay, it feels like kind of feels like, you know, in the past three Halo games, we've made several different discoveries, and none of them have the like arcing feeling of the original trilogy. It's strange. They're directionless. They're treading water. But I will say that Infinite is a step in the right direction. They just, I don't know, 343 needs to get some balls. Um, hopefully that's what them turning their name into like Halo Studios is representing, some balls. Um, but I'm not holding out my hopes. I feel like we see this all the time. Is there a Marine that wants to get in or not? Oh, I should get out of the way. Yeah, I don't know. I hold out hope. I really do. But just for the games being good, because I don't have any hope that we're going to get an ODST2, unfortunately. As dope as an ODST2 would be, with like modern graphics and all the advancements that have been made, I don't think we're going to get it, just because Papa Microsoft and 343 think it's too big of a risk or something. You know, um, I don't know. It's just it's very strange to see the position Xbox is in as a whole right now. They just keep buying things and they don't understand. They don't seem to understand what makes good games and what sells consoles. I think Phil. I don't know if I should be quoted on this because I'm probably wrong. Oh, that sucks. Is he alive? Or did he die? Where'd he go? There he is. I don't know if I should be quoted on this because I could be wrong, but I thought he said something along the lines of like games don't sell systems or something like that, um, which is just weird to come from Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox. You know, like your system was built on a bestseller, saying that games don't sell systems. Well, what if you tried making a good game and then you checked? You know, what if you tested that theory first by making a good game? I know that that's a little foreign for Microsoft, but you know, hopefully they could pull it off. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I do believe that unless Microsoft changes their ways in some way, uh, that Xbox is kind of cooked in the console war. They're done for, because PlayStation keeps pumping out these exclusives. Like, and I'm kind of split on it, right? Because Microsoft is buying these big game studios, and then they're going to publish games under Microsoft, but they're not going to be exclusives, from what I can from what I've heard. Uh, maybe I'm missing context of something that they've thrown out there, but I think they want even Halo to be cross-platform, which is great. I love that. I think exclusives kind of suck. But the thing is, you know, competition is important, and if you don't have any competition bringing people to your console, then in a way you've just handed the console war over to Sony, which I don't know. I think the console war is dumb, but I also think that for it to end properly, because my ideal ending for a console war would be both Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, anyone making their games available anywhere. But that would kill whichever console people that didn't like, right? So I feel like the way things are going now, if everyone made their exclusive games available on every console, you would see Xbox and Nintendo basically die and just become publishers, which is unfortunate, but I do think that's just the reality of the situation, because Sony is so far ahead with sales and all that. So I don't know. It's tough to think about that. But the worst situation is where Sony just completely beats them over the head and they don't even have a chance, right? And that would be where Microsoft just hands off all their exclusives to Sony and Nintendo. Because in that case, Sony wins by default. Because it's Microsoft and Sony like fighting each other right now, and then Nintendo's kind of in a league of their own, right? Just their exclusives keep them alive. Um, I would say, because they're hard. Like, I think that the Switch being a good portable with physical media is helping them, but I do think that most people are after Nintendo consoles for the exclusives. So it's tough. It's a tough position that the console war is in. Um, like I'm hopeful for a good outcome because I want everyone to be able to play all games, and I think that that's what Microsoft wants as well. But they're not going to be able to sustain Xbox if not enough people are buying it, right? So it puts you in a bad position. They have, I think, with all the studios that they've bought, they have some amazing games coming out, like Doom: The Dark Ages. That's going to be awesome. Also, it's funny that Microsoft now has both the good green guys like Master Chief and Doom Guy. That's just kind of funny to me. Um, but yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how things play out. I think Microsoft is slowly dying and moving into becoming a publisher, which is tough because they don't really push out a lot of good games. We'll see how it goes with some of the new games that they have coming out from studios that they purchased, but their track record isn't good. Somehow they just kill any incentive at making good games. Uh, it's kind of impressive. It's like a skill that they have to just kill talent. So we'll see. But then again, this is what happens with most big corporations. Like Call of Duty does it too. Call of Duty isn't really willing to take any risks, you know? Like they're not gonna one day turn around and make a super gritty shooter that doesn't have a lot of goofy microtransactions in it, because that's not the safe choice. The safe choice is to make a game that doesn't take itself seriously and just has a bunch of goofy cosmetics for people to buy, so that just churns out money for them. Because that has mass appeal, right? But you're never going to make anything that really withstands the test of time and has an identity and has something unique about it that people want to go back for. Like right now, I can go back to ODST, I can go back to Reach, experience that story, go back to the original trilogy, because they have good storytelling, they have unique experiences that they offer, and I don't know, they have an identity, something that they're giving up on with the later Halo games, like split screen, for instance. Split screen, I don't think companies understand how many games they can sell off of split screen. Most games that I got into and bought were from playing them at my friend's house split screen. Like we were enjoying them together. Like for Halo, it was Firefight, campaign, multiplayer, and I was like, oh, I need these games for me. You know, I'm gonna play these. But companies now don't seem to realize that split screen sells games, and especially for Halo to release and not have like campaign split screen is shocking, just shocking. I feel like these these studios are run by the most incompetent people ever, and I don't know if it's the developers, because I feel like the developers have to have some passion, right? But I mean, maybe they don't. Who knows? Sometimes you get lifeless products that are pushed out, and you can tell they're just like corporate shells. Everybody working there just didn't have a vision, you know? No passion. Sometimes that's the case, but I feel like a lot more often it's the overhead studio just killing any chance at passion. You know, and the other thing is, like, if you're owned by a studio like Microsoft, what's your incentive to make good games? You know, oh, I want that. Because if you think about it, you're just getting a big old paycheck from Microsoft. And that's the case if you are working for any of these big companies, really. It's like, oh, well, we'll just throw something out and figure it out later. Okay, where's the exit? I kind of forgot. I think it's this way. Oh, you can get in. My bad. There we go. There's a lot of issues in the game industry right now, just leading to the creation of things that will never have an impact, unfortunately. Kind of sad to phrase it that way, but I feel like that's the only way to phrase it. Where am I, dog?
Here comes more.
Okay.
Let's do it.
If I knew how to drive, that would be good.
Found him.
So,
I see him.
maybe? Or am I going the wrong way? There we go. Checkpoint. I don't know, man. It's a rough spot for the game industry to be in when you have these soulless products that are pushed out just to optimize the chance at selling copies, you know? Which in theory is good, because you would think that good games sell copies, but we're not really seeing that. Wow, I am in the wrong spot. Yep, that's good driving.
Over here.
I can get through there. I cannot get through there. Oh, that's all his fault, actually.
Dog and a cane. Let me get that. It's him.
Wolverine?
Ceasefire.
Oh, there's it.
Heads up. I got a covenant dropship down
So we'll see. There are a lot of factors that play into it, but I'm not I'm not super optimistic about Halo. I feel like they've made promises before, so we'll see how it goes. But just these games are losing their identity and anything that makes them worthwhile. Like you take away split screen from Halo, or you de-emphasize it at least. You you take away any originality and you just kind of churn out the same thing over and over again. Where are they? Shouldn't they be coming here? Am I stupid? Somewhere out here. And it's just all these factors are gonna like pile up, and you're gonna have these games that just like bland, like you're eating cardboard, you know? It's like so generic, so nothing burger. You know, I do feel like Halo Infinite had some personality, and so that's because like the grapple hook and all that stuff that made it unique, that gave it some flair. It gives me some hope, but I just overall the landscape is not looking very fruitful. It's looking disappointing. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But it's just shocking to me how a franchise with so much potential can be in a position where it needs to like claw its way back up from the depths, and that's what we have with Halo right now, with 343 changing their name into Halo Industries. We'll see if that does anything. Like, you know, a game franchise with the history of Halo should not have this problem. But it does, and that just goes to show like the mishandling, I suppose. But I don't know. I'll call it there.